Hey folks, SMK Gaming here. Today we're going to talk about those Battlefield 2042 hit markers. What do all those colours mean? Why do you have white, blue and red hit markers on screen all at the same time? I'm hopefully going to clarify what each colour indicates and visually show you recreations of these on screen to help with your understanding. Additionally, I also noticed a few very interesting things with very specialist equipment, including when Mackay uses his grapple gun, when Phalak uses her stim pistol, and also when Boris puts down his turret gun. Everything that I noticed with these relates to what happens to the crosshair when these specialists use their equipment. But first, and I won't spend long on this, as others have already covered it, but you may have noticed from the recent specialist teasers that the hit markers appeared off center screen and not in line with where the crosshair placement was. Here's an example slowed down and then paused. Many thought this displacement may have been some form of visual recoil, but it wasn't. DICE clarified what was going on here pretty early on and stated that it was a bug and it has already been fixed. But there is something else going on here that no one has mentioned, and I feel it will confuse people a lot when the beta comes. I want to make you aware of it, but I will be coming back to this later in the video when I move on to the stuff related to each specialist equipment. So those hit markers, they are a big change from what we are used to, aren't they? So what is going on with them? Well, I have come up with this here graphic to show you all the different variations I've spotted so far and what they mean. To the right you will also see each hit marker in action during the teasers as I talk through some of them. First, you have your typical hits. These are white. If you get headshots, these white markers change to double yellow markers. Pretty simple so far. Well, the next part is where the big changes have occurred. You can now have additional set of hit markers outside of those I have just mentioned, and these can be blue or red. Blue indicates you're hitting someone wearing armour, and red is the kill confirm shot. And you can get different variations of these. For example, you can get white and red, you can get blue and red, you hit armour, then you've killed them. Different variations of them. I have also seen instances in the teasers where there are 3 different colours at the same time also, white, blue and red. DICE have said these are still a work in progress and will likely change a bit for the upcoming beta and also before the game releases. However, I do want to draw your attention to one set of hit markers in particular. This set here, which has the double red kill confirm markers. I only ever noticed this in certain circumstances with both Boris and Phalak. In both instances, someone or something else was also firing at the target in question. In Phalak's case, a jet seems to have been firing at the same target. With Boris, he had his turret down and it was firing at the target. I suspect that this may be to indicate someone else has also played a part in the kill. So could this therefore be an assisted kill confirm? Remember, the typical kill confirm seems to only have single red lines. These are double. It must mean something else, surely. Talking about Boris's turret now leads me on to my earlier point about confusion being caused by it. That confusion relates to Boris' turret when it is actually firing. Take a look at it here. It is clearly firing, but Boris himself isn't. These hit markers on screen and around his crosshair are from the turret firing. He's doing nothing. I think this may become super annoying and confusing. Why? Well, when you are firing at someone, you could be getting both hit markers from the turret as well as your weapon. Both will be over your crosshair. When you engage a player, you may think you're actually getting more hits on them than you really are, as his turret could be shooting at someone else entirely. I would rather this turret information comes up somewhere else on screen. The final thing I want to draw your attention to are crosshair elements related to Mackay and Phalak's equipment use. When Mackay is using his grapple hook, it lets you know when you can fire to grab hold of a ledge. The box shown here snaps in place, letting you know this is something you can use. Additionally, Phalak has something similar happen to let you know when you're on target with the stim pistol, particularly useful when the target is actually quite far away. I suspect both will also give you some kind of feedback to your controller if you're using a controller with perhaps a rumble, if you have that enabled in the settings. So that's it folks, I hope I was able to provide better insight into those hit markers for you. We're aiming to hit 10,000 subscribers before the release of Battlefield 2042. It would mean a lot if you could hit that subscribe button below. Take care folks, and I'll see you again in the next one.